Hey there. Welcome to the Exaltify Me podcast. I'm your host, Nenad Leonart, and I'm happy to be here with you and share some thoughts and insights on personal development, on how we grow, on how we become better humans, of how we connect to each other, to ourselves, and how we can actually have a beautiful, beautiful life. Today, it's going to be a little bit of a different episode. I have actually not prepared anything except for a very recent discovery that I made for myself in my life. It's actually kind of two discoveries that I want just to share with you. And it doesn't get any rawer than that. I think this is probably one of the most core experiences, like bodily experiences that I've had lately. And it is just amazing. It is very powerful, although it didn't have like a lot of spectacular things happen. It was more like a very still, steady, kind of slow flow of releasing different energies of certain things happening. And it's just been so wonderful that I want to share this with you. Either it can inspire you to go the same path and have the same experience, or maybe you have already had a very similar experience like this yourself. If so, please do let me know. I'm really curious. I'm connecting every one experience that every single person had and kind of trying to figure out how this all fits together, what kind of methods they have been using, or maybe what kind of states this happened. Like for me, I don't think that this would have been possible if I didn't get sick. Like I got some cold or like a mild flu or something. I don't know exactly. You could probably tell in my latest videos that I was feeling a little bit under the weather, and then one day it got like really bad, and then I didn't sleep for like 26 hours or something like that, and then it kind of went on from there. It's a weird thing that happened. And I've noticed there something that I've kind of noticed previously as well, but I've never been actually like this connected to it, so that I can watch it happen real time. And you know how people, when they are a little bit nasty, when they're easily triggered, when they are like snapping at each other, they are usually either super stressed, which is mostly the case, but also like underslept, overworked, like all these things that are kind of like pulling the energy out of our bodies. And I kind of found out now that even when you get sick, it's like the same when you don't sleep, it's like the same when you're overworked. Like the energy of our body is kind of bound in these other things, so that the kind of survival mechanisms, the ones that are holding our self-control in place and all the different parts of our psyche that we split off, they are kind of getting a little bit, they're having a tough job, and they're not having enough energy and power to keep it all down. So what happens is actually the trauma just pops up, and there's like one trigger after the other, and you find yourself screaming at somebody or like throwing a tantrum or I don't know, having a meltdown in the subway in front of all these people, and they go like, what the fuck is happening? And you don't even notice it because you're just in your own thing, reliving your trauma and whatever. Like apparently it is also when you get sick, or maybe you get sick because of that, because it like takes up a lot of trauma coming up and then kind of all gets into disbalance. I don't know. There are like two theories, right? There's the theory that if you have no trauma, you don't get sick. And there's the theory that like if you're sick, you feel more trauma, whatever. I don't know exactly. I haven't really worked myself into that. I know that people say both things, and you can find them kind of contradicting each other. However, I can tell you that it just works. Like in these low states, when we are kind of not feeling our best when we are low on energy, certain things tend to come up which are not the greatest. And now, what I find particularly interesting is I learned this from a coach not so long ago, and he said, like, when you're having a day when you are not at your best, when you're not at your best self, don't make decisions on that day. Not the good ones, not the bad ones. Like, don't make any kind of decision. Just put it off till you feel well, till you're like in your element, till you do what you do. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a really good life hack, you know? Because usually we don't pay attention to how we feel, right? Usually we're just like, okay, I need to do, and then I have to do my work, and then I have to decide, and then and then you get into this kind of machinery. And him being like a manager and CEO and business owner and all these things, he said, like, only do like the most important stuff that is going to shape your life. Do it when you are feeling your best, because that is you making decisions for your best self. Here's the opposite. Like when you're in a fearful state, when you don't feel just good enough, when you're like, then maybe you probably take some decisions that involve less risks. Maybe you do some stuff that is not really going to help you down the road, Maybe you kind of made a decision that is not really going to inspire you most of the days, or to be like the goal that you should be setting for yourself. Maybe you're underselling yourself, or maybe you're overselling yourself. Maybe like you're trying to compensate for certain feelings of loss or whatever you're feeling, and then it kind of tips it over the edge. And I know I've done both in the past, so for me, they're not very far from each other. I don't know how the experience is with you. Usually people tend to either over-exaggerate or to be underwhelming in both regards, right? The fearful ones that are just like trying to keep it to themselves, or the super loud ones that are, I've done this, I've done that, I've done it all. And then when you look at it, they haven't really done anything properly. So let's look at this from the perspective of, okay, we are going to do this from our best self. Like when we are in our best, get to shape our future. And this is a very interesting field because I have no idea why I started talking about that. I have literally no idea, because what I wanted to tell you is how to get to your best self. And how to get to it, and that's probably the reason why I told you that, is that first you need to dive into the darkness. So there's a lot of therapists, trauma workers, and a part of them says, well, there is trauma, but I don't really like going into that. And another part says, well, there's trauma and you should work at that so that you can work it out, let go of it, integrate it, whatever. I found for myself that just like looking at the trauma, but like leaving it there, that is not a recipe for success. In fact, it's if you want to live a life that has better quality, don't look at trauma at all. If you're just going to look at it, but then leave it in place. Like, then better just close off everything, close off your ears, eyes, just go on your way and don't mind. Because when you know that there's trauma there, when you look at it, and you actively decide to not pursue it, guess what? It's going to start eating at you. And it will be eating a lot. So this is not something that I can recommend for anyone at any time. Rather, maybe just go ahead and, not look at it at all, or really start working and doing like the integration process or release or whatever it is that you choose the right way to be for you. Now, obviously, this involves a lot of body, and this is part of my experience that I recently had, which has completely changed me. I mean, my relationship to self is very changed. I guess I look more or less the same, although when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't think that I see the same person. Kind of weird, I know, but let's just stick with it. Maybe that changes some of these days. We'll see. Either way, here we are. And what I find particularly interesting in going down deep is that only when you do that, only when you plunge into the depths of your psyche, you can emerge as having more freedom, as being more you in the end, as being just more of what you came here to do, live this life, have these feelings, experience it all, and take it in. It's just wonderful, today I'm so near laughter because I feel so much joy because I've kind of reintegrated and rediscovered parts of myself that have been dormant for so long. And I know it's not finished. I know that there's more and there's more to come, and they're looking forward. So that's also why this process, everything that we do is so amazing, that you get to go step for step for step, and you get to have more progress along the way. I don't want to say it's never ending, but it probably is, right? I've not ever seen someone be finished, so I guess that's why, but maybe there's a finish line, who knows? Right? Okay. And my experience was, again, I was sick for a couple days, and I felt all these different parts of myself coming up, and it was a lot from childhood, childhood memories, things in the past. So in the meantime, I kind of tried working, and it did go well in the beginning, but then I had just less and less motivation, less and less power, and then I just tried to do naps and I don't know, watch some YouTube, and then I kind of remembered a couple friends wrote some messages, and they asked if somebody's gonna come online and play with them, and I was like, oh, that would be pretty cool. I haven't played with people for a really, really long time, so I just kind of went there and started playing, and then this kind of triggered all these childhood thoughts in me, and then I kept on playing and just noticing what came up. And in one of the previous episodes, we talked about coping mechanisms, and guess what? Playing can be one of the coping mechanisms. Excessive, crazy playing, yeah. But at the same time, playing can also be a source of joy and a source of spending the time in a wonderful way with the people you love, with the people you enjoy to be with. And that's kind of some of my favorite things to do is play nights, where we just get together with some friends and we put some board games on the table, we decide which one to do, and then we kind of just play with each other and we have a great time. And most of them are children's games, but they're also interesting enough for us as adults, so we can kind of put some strategy into it, and different layers to it. So that's pretty cool to kind of relive the childhood also in such a way. But when I was reliving this, I was also reliving certain other things that started coming up, and I was like, what on earth? These are not nice emotions. And then it's just one after the other of, I don't know, desires that went unfulfilled, of a lot of, there was the whole plethora of really, really negative emotions. And I'm not going to go into those right now, because it just doesn't serve the purpose in this episode here today. What I want to say, though, is that for the first time in so many years, I actually got to experience my childhood memories again. And this is not through play. Like, the play triggered those, but the childhood memories, they were playing out themselves in my body. And these were memories of sensations, of kind of feelings that I had back then. And keep in mind that my head did not want to think of those. I didn't want to remember them. I don't want to feel like that today. You know, like as an adult. And when they started coming up, I noticed like my body remembers. Every cell in my body remembers these feelings. And they were very familiar to me. And then I really saw like everything around me kind of, okay, this makes sense. This was the circumstances that I lived in. This was caused because of the state that my parents were in, of how they had it in their life, like of all the stress that they have been through, all the negative emotions, everything that's going on with them. This was put onto me as well. And like that was just like what I had, right? As a kid, I didn't know better, and I didn't really have a free choice. That was just what was there. So I kind of took it all in. And then when I did grow up, I noticed like life can be different. You know, I can be free, I can have choices, I can blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of stuffed all those experiences away and didn't want to think about them. And then life kind of just gets this mediocre status where it's just not fun anymore, you know? It just like the whole joy seems to vanish. Again, it's not that it's vanishing, but it kind of, it feels like something's missing. And these apparently for me were the parts of me that I kind of pushed away. We might have talked about this in one of the previous episodes, that people usually, when you ask them how their childhood was, they were like, that was cool. Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun and so on. And I was one of these people as well. And then at a certain point when I really knew what was going on, then mentally I could tell, okay, I did not have a great childhood. And now, through experiencing these kind of feelings, for the first time in I don't know, in 25 years, I finally got it on like a physical level. It arrived. It has manifested itself to me like in the whole appearance that was available for me to acknowledge. And what I did there was what I practiced in the last years with all these methods: to be compassionate with myself, to see this is my inner child and I'm going to take care now. I'm going to be there for it, and we're going to make the best possible outcome. And so I was. So I was there. I allowed all these feelings to happen. I really like even thanked myself and cherished this possibility to have even these feelings and to just go through it again. And to remember and to see, wow, you went through all of that? That's impressive. And just have like this self-talk and kind of try to integrate, okay, this sensation, this belongs to me. And this next one belongs to me as well. So let's take them all in one after the other. And it's just been wonderful. Honestly, like I think I did it for 4 hours, maybe. Like this morning, just after waking up, I had this couple thoughts, and then I said, okay, let's start releasing, let's start integrating and see where this leads me. Like, And it was a huge like waterfall of one thing, and then the next thing came, and then I looked at that and felt it and integrated, and then the next thing came. It was just like a whole bunch of things till I came to one where I know, okay, here the path will continue. I stayed for as long as I could, and yet it didn't want to fully open up for me. So that means, okay, there's some resistance there maybe, or there's some more underlying trauma. So I will just give it a little bit of time, give it a little bit of compassion, reintegrate everything that I got from these other parts, which is pretty cool, and enjoy that. And to be honest, I'm really enjoying it today. It's been so fun. It's just like everything I do, I find much more joy in it. Because remember, these are like the parts of my childhood. So like that's like my small me that I've been pushing away, that I didn't want to acknowledge or feel or like integrate. And now that I've more integrated, I have more fun as a kid. Like I can be more of a kid now than I was before, which is weird. And yet I feel like it has much more of this life quality, and I feel the energy going through all my body, and it's just great. It's just great. I can also tell that I'm speaking differently. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe it's sounding super childish. I have no idea. I have no idea. I guess I will go back and listen to this after a while and just see like what's the difference, what came up. But for me, this is just a blessing. Like, I'm so thankful to have experienced this. Tomorrow, I'm going on to a new experience with IOPT, where I will be learning with the founder of IOPT. So I'm really looking forward to that. When you listen to this episode, it will be a couple weeks later, and I will have had the experience. I'm really looking forward to this. So these things happening one day prior, it's probably has its reasons, and just I'm so thankful for having these possibilities, for all these things kind of happening, for me being able to learn about it, for me being able to share, to experience it all. I don't know where I would have been like 100 years ago or 200 years, because I don't feel that we as a society had the means to have this knowledge. We would have probably have had to find some kind of coping mechanism, right? And then to live with it, and strength of character and everything. And then some people worked through it, some people broke down, and that was it. And today, like, we all have the opportunity and the possibility and the excitement, the motivation, everybody around is kind of starting to understand, yeah, well, we can do something for our mental well-being. We can work. Well, we can do the right things, and then it's better. It's like physical fitness, right? Everybody knows, like, if you want to feel good in your body, you go to the gym. Or you go and run. I don't always want to do, like, the gym example, because I've been doing a couple events with a coach, and he was really always doing like the gym example. If you want to get fit, you go to the gym, and if you want to look good, you go to the gym, and if you want to like whatever, his ultimate solution was the gym, and it was kind of funny, but I really liked the guy, so it was double funny. So we got to mess with him a little bit on that. However, you can also, I don't know, do running, you can do jogging, you can do trekking, you can do swimming, you can do whatever kind of sport in teams, just to keep your body fit. And the same thing you can do mentally. You can be mentally fit by exercising your mental well-being. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do. And for me, through this work, through incorporating these sensations that mostly were in my body, and yet the whole process I was kind of leading a little bit into it with the mind, and I was witnessing it and everything. It brought me to a new place like a new experience that I had, where the mind and the body were kind of fusing together. Again, I cannot put this into words. This is an experience that it is so refined that language, I cannot describe it. Like, I'm not that good at language, but I probably, maybe there would be some artists that would be able to describe something like this with words. It was like I had a sphere where my body was, and there was like a sphere of the mind, and there was like kind of this separation where I would have a body and that there's like stuff in the body going on, and then I would have a mind that would be thinking thoughts, and it would be thinking in and for itself. And then if it kind of wanted to take care of the body or needed to find out like how the body feels, it would kind of tune into the body and go like, hey, what's going on there? How you feeling right now? And then the body would like tell what it says, and then the mind would go, okay, that's good. You know, I thought that was like a step forward, because before that I wouldn't even check in with my body. I was just like completely always in my mind, like in this sphere, bouncing off thoughts of each other. And then at a certain point I understood, okay, there's a whole body. I can take care of my body. I can attune to my body. I can tune into it. I can check out how it feels. So then I would use the mind to go into the body and like tune in, right? And today, for the first time, I felt like these two spheres kind of overlapping. Like I literally felt how they came together, and it felt like it became one. It felt like it didn't have a difference between body and mind. It just kind of was the same thing, which was really, really cool. So I'm asking myself, again, this is very new to me. Does it mean that my body is able to be witnessing, like also with awareness, everything that's going on? And I feel like yes. And is it also possible that I can do great decisions with this connection and not just with my mind, just like really trust the whole system? And the answer is yes. It's going to be like, that's the right thing to do, to trust the whole system. It's not just like the mind doing the right thing. It's everything all together. And I feel like this is tying into something greater, like this greater awareness, like this mass subconscious, like this is some kind of greater field that, at least it feels like it. I have no idea where this comes from. I cannot tell yet, but it's something that's very powerful and that I'm definitely going to explore some more. Like, this is really, really exciting. Now that I think and talk about it, I feel like it's a great new opportunity. And even if I don't, who cares? I mean, I found a very, very fun part of myself that has been kind of probably lost for very long, or I just didn't want to acknowledge it because I didn't want to acknowledge the bad stuff, right? And I'm just going to enjoy that. That's a pretty cool accomplishment for these last weeks and months of work. And I'm just going to go now and enjoy that. And I hope that you enjoy your week. I have no idea if you can take something away from this or not. It's just been a blast sharing, if for nothing else. Maybe this inspires you. Maybe you think like, that's what on earth is he talking about? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts to this were. Really curious. However, this is the Exaltify Me podcast. I'm your host, Nenad Leonart. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.